Okay.
So let us begin our program with a short chanting. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Iti piso bhagavan araham samma sambuddho vijjacharan sampanno sugato lokavido anuttaro purisadhamma sarati sattha devamanu nang buddho bhagavati namo tassa samma sambuddhassa Echa buddha tita cha echa buddha anagata pachopanna cha ye buddha aham vandami sabbada nati me saranang anyang buddha me saranang varam etena sacha vajjena hotu te jaramangalang Uttamange navande ang padapansu varuttamang buddhiyo khalito dosa buddha kamatutang manang buddhang yavanibbana pariyantang saranang gacchami Swakhato bhagavata dhammo sanditiko akaliko Yehi pasiko panaiko pacchatang veditab vinyohitim namo tassa niyanika sadammasa echa dhammang atita cha echa dhamma anangata Pachopanna chaye dhamma aham vandami sabbada nati me saranang anyang dhammo me saranang varam etena sacha vajjena hotu te jaya mangalam uttamange navandirang dhammam chati vidam Yo karito dosa dhammam kamatutang namam dhammam yavani bhavana pariyantang saranam gacchami Supatipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Ujupatipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Nyayapadipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Samicipadipan bhagavato savaka sangho Yadidam chattari purisa yogani Atha purisa puggalang esa bhagavato savaka sangho huneya huneya dakiniyo anjali karaniyo anutaram Nyangetang lokasati namo tassa Arya Puggala Mahasanghasa Echa Sangha Atita Cha Echa Sangha Anagata Pachopanna Chaye Sangha Aham Vanda Sabbada Nati Me Saranang Sangho Me Saranang Varam Etena sacha vajjena hotu te jaya mangalam uttamangena vande sangam ca dividottamam sangeyo kalito doso sango tammanam sangam yavanibbana pariyan saranam gacchami Sabbitiyo vivachanto sabbarogo vinasato mate bhavattu antarayo sukhi digayuko bhava bhavatu sabba mangalam rakhantu sabba devata sabba buddhanubhavena sada sotti bhavantu te Bhavatu sabba mangalang rakhantu sabba devata sabba dhammanubhavena sada sotti bhavantu te. Bhavatu sabba mangalang rakhantu sabba devata sabba sanghanubhavena sada sotti bhavantu te. Bhavatu sabba mangalang rakhantu sabba devata sabba sanghanubhavena sada sotti bhavantu te. Abhivadana silesa nichang buddha pachayino chattaro dhamma vaddanti ayuvanno sukhang balang ayu arogya sampatti sagga sampatti mevacha ato nibbana sampatti iminate samejjatu ting sadhu sadhu sadhu. Namo Buddhaya, Bhante, Sadhu, most respected Sadhuji, lots of greetings to you.
Okay. Happy to see you.
Happy to see you, Bhante, after a long time.
Okay.
Yeah. How are you, Bhante?
Yeah, I'm good.
Thank you, Bhante. Bhante is straight from Myanmar. Bhante is joining from Myanmar. And yes, Bhante, we just have begun with a short chanting. We thought to make use of this time. Meanwhile, you join with us.
Yeah.
And there are about how many participants? 15, and here about 10 people here, participants today. So we are very honored, Bhante, to have you with us. So without further delay, with Bhante's Saroji's permission, I would like to introduce Venerable Dr. Chandamukha Saroji to all our audience. Venerable Dr. Chandamukha Saroji, today he is with us and joining from International Theravada Buddhist Missionary University from Yangon, Myanmar. Saroji is the professor of the International Theravada Buddhist Missionary University as the head of the Department of Sutta Studies. Venerable Dr. Chandamukha Saroji is the abbot of Sirimangala Chitta Sukha Monastery. He received his higher ordination as a Buddhist monk in 1995 under the preceptor of Most Venerable Ukkattha Vimansa. Having lived and studied Pali canonical literatures and commentaries for 17 years in different monastic education centers in Myanmar, Saroji received Sasana Dhaja Dhammacharya, teachership in Dhamma of Sasana's banner title, and Vinaya Vidu, scholar of monastic discipline title. Then he studied at the International Theravada Buddhist Missionary University for 10 years, received diploma in the Buddha Dhamma, BA in Buddha Dhamma, MA in Buddha Dhamma, and PhD in Buddha Dhamma degree. Practiced meditation under guidance of late Saddhamma Rasming Sharo, the Most Venerable Kundala Vimangsa. In 1997, he established a monastic education center named Sirimangala Chitta Sukha Monastery at his hometown and teaches young novices and junior monks there. From 2003 up to now, teaches monastic discipline, Vinaya, Sutta, Abhidhamma subjects to international students at the International Theravada Buddhist Mission University, Yangon, Myanmar. In 2010, he has worked as a researcher at Dhammachari and Dhammachai Tipitaka Project, Thailand. In addition, he gives lectures in Buddhist ethics and philosophy in in other 3 local universities. So this is a short biography and profile of our today's speaker, Most Venerable Dr. Chandamukha Sayadaw-ji. We have met recently. Sayadaw-ji has come to the international conference. There I met Sayadaw-ji, and it was such a wonderful encounter to meet Sayadaw-ji in person. We also have his association in 2015 or so, when Bhante in his group, he visited India, and we had all gone to all the different places in India, all the holy places. So today's topic is the Kakacupama Sutta, which Sayadaw will be talking on, the discourse on the similes of the saw. So on behalf of Mahabodhi Research Center, Mahabodhi Society, Bangalore, we have Professor Dr. Ramchandra and all the nuns who are sitting with us. I also our Mahabodhi Bangalore people. I welcome Bhante to today's Dhamma discourse.
Okay. Thank you so much for your kind introduction. So I'm also very pleased to be with you again in this Dhamma session. So today, the topic I plan to share, to discuss with you is, as you have heard, that is Kakacupama Sutta. So the Sutta, the discourse on the simile of a saw. So that discourse is from the Majjhima Nikaya, Pali. So here, before I talk about the discourse, so this discourse has a lot of significant points. So that's why I choose to share with you. So every discourse as delivered by the Buddha. So the Buddha did out of great compassion to the humanity or to the beings he encountered. So in that Kakacupama Sutta, so more significant point is that the Buddha has a great compassion to the monk. So especially the monk named Moliya Pheguna. So if you study this discourse, then you will know that the Buddha trying to explain him the Dhamma with the many different similes. So this discourse ends with the simile of the saw. So that's what that they call saw is called kakacha. Kakacha is called in English it is translated as saw. Okay, ubama. So with the simile of the saw, that is the last simile that illustrated in that discourse. But there are many other such stories in this discourse. So I think so among the many discourses of the Buddha, so this discourse contains a large number of similes in one discourse. So that is also one significant point. And also another significant point in that discourse is that even though in most of the discourses after explaining, after the giving the Dhamma, the sharing the Dhamma knowledge, mostly the audience were converted. So audience were convinced to follow the Buddha's idea, the Buddha's teaching. But unfortunately or unluckily, Moliya Pheguna, he didn't even admit that he will follow the Buddha's teaching. So when we study about the biography of this monk Phaguna, then we see that later on he even returned to lay life. So much less to be obedience to the words of the Buddha. So that is also one of the significant point in this discourse. So two significant points. One is that there are a large number of similes in the discourse. And also, so at the end of the discourse, so the listener, main listener, that is Phaguna, the monk, even though he is a monk, but he didn't uh, admit that he will abide by the words of the Buddha. Okay, that is also a significant point. So even though the monk is not ready to listen to the words of the Buddha, but the Buddha, out of great compassion, he showed how great his compassion is to the audience. So that's why this Sutta is one of the discourses that that can be picked up and the example of the great compassion of the Buddha. Okay, so that's why today I share with you to discuss
Hello, hello, Bante. I think we lost the connection with Bante. We will join soon. Okay, we got back the connection. Okay, Bante, welcome back. Bante, please continue.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, Banteji.
Yeah. Wait a moment, please. The because today these days the Wi-Fi in our hostel is broken. That's why I use mobile network.
Oh, I see, Bante.
Yeah. That's why
Okay.
mobile network eat a lot. uh, like that. So I just refill. Okay.
Yes, Bante.
So here in that I will share a screen with so Kakacupama Sutta Here, I think you may see that the discourse. So another one. So in that discourse, that significant point I already discussed with you. So in that Kakacupama Sutta, so the monk name is Phaguna. So because of the time limit, I will not go very much in detail. As I gave the title, the Kakacupama Sutta at a glance. So just the main point. Okay, I will touch upon the main point in that Kakacupama Sutta. So the monk over there in that during the Buddha's time, so his name is Phaguna. So in his lay life, while he was a lay beaver, so he keep a flock of hair on his head. That's why it is called Moliya. Okay, so he was known as a Moliya Phaguna, even though he became a monk. So this the same name is used as a Moliya Phaguna. So the problem with him in that discourse is that he, a Phaguna, who he mingles with the Bhikkhunis, he has a very close intimacy with the Bhikkhunis. So, and then what happened to him is because of the close intimacy with the Bhikkhuni, so not only one Bhikkhuni, maybe all other Bhikkhunis. That's why later what he became is that he became the defender of the Bhikkhuni. So whoever tell about the bad or the Bhikkhuni, then he don't like. He don't like, and then he tried to defend from the side of the Bhikkhunis. So someday, some monk, they try to point out that we point out that some Bhikkhunis, then he feel angry, he gets angry. And then not just get angry, but he fight against those who say ill of the Bhikkhunis. So and from the Bhikkhuni side also, so because they have a very close relationship between Phaguna, Venerable Phaguna, and then Bhikkhuni Sangha. That's why whoever tell about the bed of the Phaguna, Bhikkhuni also they can't bear. They can't bear. That's why they become dependent on the Phaguna. And also Bhikkhunis fight against those whoever, maybe whoever monks or lay people and so on, tell about the bed of the Phaguna monk. So that is very important point in this discourse. So that this point admonish or give lesson as that. So we Bhikkhu Sangha and Bhikkhuni Sangha, member of the Bhikkhu Sangha and Bhikkhuni Sangha should be helpful to one another. Okay, should be very helpful to one another, but should not be harmful to one another. So we have a right, we have a duty for the monk, we have a right to protect Bhikkhunis, Bhikkhuni Sangha. Nowadays we have a nuns, we have a right to protect the nuns, but at the same time, we should keep a sort of distance, okay, from not to be harmful to one another. Harmful means because if we have a very close intimacy with the Bhikkhuni Sangha, or with the one Bhikkhuni or many, maybe many other Bhikkhunis, maybe then we may think as a lay people, the thought of the lay people will arise. Okay, the thought of lay people is like we, like a sisters, okay, like a brothers. So and also like a boyfriends and girlfriends and so on. That sort of thought may arise. That's why, even though we have a duty to protect the Bhikkhuni Sangha or nuns, then the point here enlightened us, we should have we should keep a kind of distance from the Bhikkhuni Sangha. So main point is that we should be helpful to one another, right? But we should not be harmful towards one another. So here from the Bhikkhuna, so Bhikkhuna, he became a monk out of faith in the Buddha, in the Dhamma, in the Sangha. Okay. Now, not because of any other reasons. Because after listening the Dhamma from the Buddha, he came to realize that it is difficult to follow the teachings of the Buddha as a lay people. So that's why out of faith in the Buddha Dhamma Sangha, he became a monk. He renounced the world. But after becoming a monk, out of faith, he has a close relationship with the bhikkhunis. Then, other day, what happened to him is that he lost or he reduced the faith in the Buddha Dhamma and Sangha. That's why he violated some of the rules. So if we study the Vinaya rules, Patimokkha Samvara Sila, so Patimokkha Samvara Sila, so that Sila should be observed by faith. Okay, when we have a lesser and lesser faith, we are more liable to break the rules. That's why so whenever we have to check ourselves if we tend to violate the rules, regulations laid down by the Buddha. It means our faith in the Buddha Dhamma and Sangha are getting down or reducing gradually. So that why he also we have to understand here. Bhikkhu Sangha remind the Venerable Bhikkhuna not to have a very close intimate relationship with the Bhikkhuni Sangha. But no, he said no, he didn't obey even the words of the Sangha, then even the words of the friends. So because his behaviors so Radha is a Radha. Whoever come and admonish to him, he make a dispute. He fight against that monk. So that is a big problem. Okay, that is a big problem for them. So also from the Bhikkhuni side also, maybe they may lose samana sanya, the concept of being a monk, concept of being a Buddhist monk or being a Buddhist nuns. That is a very important point. So for the Buddhist monks, and every time we have to remind that I'm a Buddhist monk, I'm a Buddhist nun, and so on. So otherwise, as a Buddhajana, worldly beings, we may tend to think as a lay people, tend to behave as a lay people, tend to speak as a lay people. So here also, from this event, we can learn that Bhikkhuna and Bhikkhuni Sangha became they became very close friends, and they are helpful to one another. And also, they thought to themselves as a lay people. That's why they behave like a lay people. So even though the Sangha order individually or in group, they admonish them, but they fail to obey the words of the Sangha. That's why it was reported to the Buddha. Okay, the Buddha. Then one monk went to the Buddha and reported what happened to the Venerable Phaguna and the Sangha. Then other day, the Buddha asked the monk, okay, if so, please go call, okay, call Phaguna by my name. It means I call Phaguna, please, Phaguna, the Buddha call you. So that's why Phaguna went to the Buddha, and then the Buddha asked the same question. So whether what he heard, whether the report is correct or not. Okay. So in that case also, one lesson we can learn is that the Buddha, whenever someone report to him, so whatever case is reported to him, the Buddha don't lay down the rules instantly. Rather, the Buddha call upon him, the person or the monk or the people who really involved in that case. So it means as a leader, we have to listen from both sides. Okay, if we listen only from one side, maybe we will be far away from the truth. Okay, so if we maybe in a Mahabodhi society, also you have to manage with the many, you have to deal with the many people, and also arrange many. There are many cases there may be. So other day, as a leader, we have to listen to both sides. Okay, listen to both sides. If we listen only to one side, also sometimes we listen to the both sides, but we are in favor of the one side, then that also will not lead to the solution, proper solution. So here, in this discourse, the Buddha called upon, the Buddha asked Phaguna, so whether it is, I heard this news, I was reported by this monk, or like this and like that, now whether it is true or not. Then other time, Venerable Phaguna replied that Amma Bandi, Ewan Bandi, okay. But yes, Venerable Sir, it is true. He don't tell a lie. Very lovely. Very lovely. Asian people, even though they may do something wrong, but they don't tell a lie. So if the Buddha asks whether it is true or not, they say as it is. So that is very lovely nature of the people, Asian people. Nowadays, so maybe out of respect or out of fear or whatever, we human beings tend to tell a lie, even to the teachers and seniors and elderly persons, to the parents as well. So that is Musawada is prevailing nowadays. So during the Buddha's time, even though Phaguna, he mingled with the bhikkhunis and he became a problem maker. Okay? Whoever admonished bhikkhunis, he all that I defend from the side of the bhikkhunis. That leads to the dispute among the Sangha. So when the Buddha asks whether it is true or not, then the Venerable Phaguna replied that yes, it is the truth. So very lovely nature. So that character we have to copy. Okay, we have to be truthful. Okay, truthful to our words. Okay, so then the Buddha asks. What the Buddha asks is very noteworthy. Are you a householder who has gone forth out of a deep conviction in the teachings of the Buddha? Okay, that is the Buddha's question. So, in brief, we can simply say that Imri, did you become a monk out of compassion, out of faith in the triple gem, in the Buddha? Okay. Then he said, yes. This is a very important point. Okay. So, so there are many reasons for the people to become a monk or to become a nurse. So some people they become a monk out of the out of poverty striking. Okay, because of the poverty, they are helpless and hopeless nature. So that's why they went to the monastery and then trying to get ordination, trying to become a monk and nuns and so on. That is also one of the reason to become a monk. So some people they become a monk out of fear from the punishment from the government and so on. So there are also such cases. So some people they become a monks and novices out of what? Out of tradition. Traditionally, they become a monks and nuns. Also, we have such a thing. So for example, in Myanmar, we have a small novices, young novices are there. They didn't know the Buddha, the Dhamma, Sangha very well, but traditionally, parents want to make them want them to become a novice maybe for 7 days or for 1 month, or if they are happy, they can spend for the whole life and so on. So in order to fulfill their parents' desire, they become a novices or they become a small nuns and so on. So also we have some people, they become a monks and nuns out of faith in the Buddha's teaching as well. That's why here, so why the Buddha asked this question to the Peguna is that because the Peguna, he became a monk, but he failed to obey the Buddha's rules, the rules laid down by the Buddha. Okay? The Buddha already laid down the rules, so monks should not be very close to the bhikkhu nuns as well. So, but he don't obey, and also the monks should not make a dispute among the sangha, but he don't obey. So why? So then that's why the Buddha asked, did you become a monk out of faith in the Buddha's teaching? So then Panvipaguna replied that yes, I became a monk out of faith in the Buddha's teaching. Okay, then so some people maybe they trying to disguise, even though they become they try to become a monk, not really out of faith in the triple gem, in the Buddha, in the Dhamma, in the Sangha as well. So because maybe in the Third Buddhist Council or something like that, we can say, because they are helpless people from other religions, because Buddhism is flourishing, so the king support the Buddhism, and the people also support the Buddhism, but they don't support the other religion. At that time, they became it was difficult for them to survive as a other religious people. That's why they try to become a monk. They try to get ordination in Buddhism. So that is disguise. Okay, yeah, that's why I put it the word disguise. Some people they become they are monk in disguise. Okay. So in that case, the Buddha trying to remind whether you become a monk out of faith or not, or maybe the Buddha want to refresh. Okay, you make the Paguna remember that you become a monk out of the faith in the triple gem. Okay, out of the faith in the Buddha, in the Dhamma, in the Sangha, why don't you follow the rules? Okay. Then when the Bhaguna reply yes, then the Buddha gave admonishment not to bear sensual thought and malevolent thought in mind. Rather, to bear restraint oneself and then to restrain oneself and also to develop a metta, which is for well-being of a mental health. Okay. So in the at that time, the Buddha remind Phaguna, so don't think as a lay people. Okay. Karma vidaka. Okay, karma vidaka. Don't let influence your heart, your mind, by the thought of a sensual thought, sensual desire. Okay, so and also malevolent thought in mind. So that sort of thought, like a lay people, okay, that is not fit for the monk to. It is called what the Kama Chanda or Gihasida Chanda. The chanda, the desire or the thought, so related to the householder, okay, householder thought. So when we become a monk, we have to think as a monk, okay, we have to speak as a monk, we have to even behave as a monk. So, but here, Bhanu Bhaguna failed to behave like that. Rather, he behaved like a lay people. So suppose if you are a lay people, maybe husband, wife, and children are there. So you have a duty to you whoever uh, insert the people related to you, you will be ready to fight uh, against that people. Against that people. That is the way lay people do. But as a monk, we should not do like this. We should not have such a thought. So that's why the Buddha admonished him, Phaguna, not to bear such a thought. And also the Buddha reminded him, so whoever come and attack you by words and also by action, by deeds, then you should not get angry. You should not get angry. Rather, you should develop a metta. Okay, so in this way, so the Buddha gave an admonishment to the Phaguna, and the Phaguna. Okay. So this admonishment is for the well-being of the mental health. Okay? For the well-being of the mental health. So we have two kinds of two component part. One is the mind, mentality. Another is the physical body. So in order to practice the Buddha's teaching, we should be healthy in terms of mentality, as well as we should be healthy in terms of our physical body. So that's why partly the Buddha remind, okay, you have to remove, you have to abandon sensual thought, and also you have to abandon the thought related to the householder life, the thought of a householder. So whoever come and attack you through the words and through the deeds, so you should not get angry. You should not negative emotion should be removed, and then positive emotion should be replaced. Okay, on the place of the negative emotion, we have to replace with the positive emotion, that is metta. Okay, so that is, with this point, the Buddha explained the Phaguna, okay, in order admonish Phaguna. But the Phaguna didn't say yes. Okay, so if you read Kakacupama Sutta, okay, there you can see. So what you can see there is that the Buddha admonished him like this. So if someone attack you by words and by deeds, then don't get angry. So don't let the sensual thought arise in your mind. And also rather you should develop a metta. Okay. And also if someone attack to the nuns, to the bhikkhuni, other time also through the words or through the deeds, don't get angry. Okay. And also don't let the sensual thought arise in your mind, but you should have, and then you should not utter even in evil words. Okay, you should not utter in evil words to those who aid you. Rather, you should develop a loving kindness. In this way, the Buddha admonishment regarding himself, whoever insult him, whoever come and blame him, don't get angry. You should not get angry. And also whoever come and blame to the bhikkhunis also, you should not get angry. Rather, you should develop loving kindness. And also you should not act out of anger as well. Rather, you should act out of love, out of loving kindness. So in this way, the Buddha explain, admonish, give admonishment of Phaguna to develop a loving kindness and also to remove it. Gihasita chanda and Gihasita vidaka, sensual thought and sensual desire. So then Phaguna just keep the silence. Very strange. Even though the Buddha explained in detail, not to have anger, but to have a metta, but Phaguna just keep a silence without acknowledging, without rejecting. He neither reject nor accept, it means. So very stubborn mind. Okay. The Phaguna just keep a silence. Then the Buddha, at the time the Buddha, and the Buddha understand, in my understanding, the Buddha understand his mind. That's why the Buddha didn't say directly didn't blame directly to him, but rather the Buddha used, the Buddha trying to say, Asian people, maybe during the earlier time of the Buddha, monks and lay people, mostly monks, they are ready to listen the words of the Buddha. They are so obedient to the Buddha. So even the Buddha didn't lay down the rules, but the Buddha just simply say, Mas, I do like this, I live in this way, so it is very good for me. So very good, maybe in terms of the head or in terms of the mentality, it is very helpful. The Buddha just simply say like that. Then the monks are ready to follow at that time. The burden now at that time, when the Buddha encounter with the Phaguna, the Buddha came to know that, oh, these people now, the people nowadays, they are not ready to listen, even though the Buddha admonished again and again. So because Phaguna didn't say yes, anything to the Buddha, even though the Buddha admonished like this, Phaguna didn't say yes. At that time, the Buddha explained that Asian people, they are ready to listen to my words, even though I don't lay down the rules. So in that case, the Buddha explained that Egasana Bhojana, 1 meal a day. Okay, so the Buddha, he himself follow 1 meal a day practice, Egabadiga. Okay, in use, mostly it appear in the text as Egabadiga. The Buddha is Egabadiga. He have a 1 meal a day, only 1 meal a day. Not that nowadays we have a two meals a day for the month, maybe breakfast and lunch we have. Okay, but the Buddha has a 1 meal a day. So one day we eat, that is enough to go to continue to survive the whole day. So Egasana Bhojana, the Buddha follow. And also the Buddha explained that Ekasana Bhojana is very helpful. 1 meal a day is very helpful. Then I have a less disease. Okay, I have less disease and also easy to get up, and also I have enough energy. I can dwell happily. So because of the 1 meal a day, I don't know nowadays. Nowadays people they have maybe 3 meals a day, and also they may have many meals a day. So sometimes they go to the they go and have maybe a lot of maybe breakfast, lunch, dinner, and supper, or maybe many other meals that they have. But what the Buddha encouraged, the way the Buddha live is 1 meal a day. Okay, Egabadika, Egasana Bhojana practice. So it was encouraged by the Buddha. The Buddha encouraged his disciples. 1 meal a day practice is very good for me, and it makes me healthy. No sickness arises, and also it is very light for me to, and also wherever he want to go, he can go easily. So if we eat a lot, we may even, it may be very difficult for us to even to get up from the seat because we eat a lot. So that's why the Buddha say here, so abada, abadanga, lahutana, balanja, pasuviyaranja. So it's also, even though the Buddha eat 1 meal a day, he is strong enough to get enough energy. Then the Buddha encouraged other monks to follow that practice. Then they are ready to follow. The Buddha here mentioned that Sato Bada Karaniya Mewa Tesu Bhikkhusu. I just need to remind, I don't need to lay down the rule. So how obedient they are. The contrasting. So even in the earlier time of the Buddha, okay, earlier time of the enlightenment, and also in the later time of the enlightenment, the people are different in terms of the obedience. So in the earlier time, the Buddha just remind that way is better. They are ready to follow. Now, even though the Buddha explain, give admonishment in many different ways, he failed to obey the Buddha's word. Even he did not say yes to the Buddha. So that is also a very important point. Then the question arises, so there are many such cases for the Buddha to pick up as an example. Why in this context the Buddha used Ekasana Bhojana? Ekasana Bhojana, 1 meal a day. That practice is a very, the Buddha purposely pick up that practice. So the purpose of the Buddha is in that it is for the, if we eat a lot, suppose, if we eat maybe 2 meals a day or 3 meals a day, at that time the Buddha didn't lay down the rules, okay? So, but it is not yet a compulsory for the monks to not to have a dinner and so on at that time. So monks, at that time they are free to eat whatever they like, maybe more breakfast and lunch, or maybe a dinner as well, they may have. So, but later on, the Buddha has to lay down the rules. Vigala Bhojana. Okay, this rule is laid down. The Buddha made the rule. But here in this context, why did the Buddha illustrate with the Ekasana Bhojana, 1 meal a day practice? So 1 meal a day practice is not only helpful to be healthy, but also it is helpful to reduce lustful desire. Suppose if we have a lot of energy, if we eat a lot and then get a lot of energy, and then because of that energy, sensual desire, okay, lustful desire may arise, may increase. So that's why the Buddha purposely choose that example, Ekasana Bhojana practice, 1 meal a day. Here, in addition to the mental health, the Buddha reminds the practice of a 1 meal a day for physical health. Okay, for physical health. So as well as, so if we eat 1 meal a day, not only we are healthy in terms of physically, but also maybe we can reduce lustful desire. Okay, if we eat many sumptuous food a lot, maybe sensual desire will increase, lustful desire increase. So that's why it is related. That's why the Buddha purposely choose Ekasana Bhojana, 1 meal a day, practice as an illustration. And also to abandon akusala, to make an effort for the rising of akusala. Okay, so this Ekasana Bhojana practice, the practice of a 1 meal a day, is helpful to abandon the akusala vitaka, maybe unwholesome thought. Okay, if we are strong enough, so we tend to be harmful to the others. We tend to fight against the others. So that's why energy is just enough is okay, enough energy. Maybe extra energy become harmful to the physical body as well as our emotion. So that's why they to abandon akusala as well as to make an effort for the rising of akusala. Okay, so that why also the Buddha highlight in this discourse. Then next slide. After that, the discourse, in that discourse, the Buddha explained the similes. The Buddha trying to explain Manuvapaguna as well as to the other monks. Okay. Number 1 simile is Ajaniya Asa. Asa means a horse. Okay, Ajaniya. So it should be the word is Ajaniya. Okay, Ajaniya. Ajaniya. Ajaniya is maybe thoroughbred, the horse, thoroughbred horse, well-bred horse. So he doesn't, maybe that such a horse, if you possess, you, even though you may use a stick in your hand, you may head the stick, okay, in your hand, but you don't need to beat. Okay, you don't need to beat. You hold the stick just to remind Okay, just to remind. So also, Asian people, they just need to be, they are very good. They are well-behaved persons. They are lovers of the Buddha's teaching. That's why they just need to remind. They don't need to be enforced by the law and rules. So that's why they after when they get uh, the Buddha's remind, then they are ready to abandon akusala, and also they make effort for the rising of akusala. So we need to behave like ajaniya asa. Okay, it means obedient. We have to be obedient to the words of the senior persons, elderly persons. So if we are not obedient, so then later on it will be forced. We will be forced to obey, like a Faguna. Because Faguna don't obey, that's why later on there need to be make a rules. So that's why very good person. If we want to become a very good person, we have to behave like a Ajaniya Asa. Okay, the word thoroughbred, a horse. And also number 2 simile. What the number 2 simile? Number 2 simile is here, sultry. Okay, sala. So there is a forest. So in that forest, all of the trees, plants no, originally it is sultry. But if we fail to take care, sometimes we need to remove unnecessary things. Okay, and also we need to provide a kind of fertilizers. So otherwise, so the sultry will be occupied or influenced by any other trees, any other plants. That's why in order to grow and to be prosperous, okay, in the Buddha's teaching, if we live in the Buddha's teaching as a monk, or as a lay people, or as a nurse, if we really want to prosper us, if we really want to grow in the Buddha's teaching, we have to abandon akusala, okay, unwholesome mental action, physical action, verbal actions. We should remove. We should make an effort to abandon. And also, we should make an effort for the rising of a new kusala, for the rising of old kusala as well, wholesome actions. So only then we can be developed. So for the Phaguna, you see, if we relate back to the Phaguna, even though he became a monk out of faith in the Buddha teaching, he failed to remove negative emotions, Gihasita, Chanda, Gihasita, Vidaka. So householder, the thought, householder's desire, he failed to abandon. So he let them grow. That's why they have become problems. So that's why he failed to be prosperous in the Buddha's teaching. So as I explained you just before, later in his story, in another discourse, he is found to disrobe, found to go back to lay life. He cannot prosper us. He could not make a progress in the Buddha's teaching. Why? Because he failed to abandon unwholesome thought, unwholesome behavior, unwholesome speech. Okay. So, and also he failed to cultivate wholesome thought, wholesome behavior, wholesome speech. Okay, that's why the Buddha, if we really want to develop and the progress, make progress in the Buddha teaching, you should be like this, you should not be like that. The Buddha explained with the two simile here. Here, number 3 simile. Number 3 is actually, even though we put under the simile, it is the story. Okay, the Buddha gave a story or the Vedahika. So Lady Vedahika is seem to be very good lady, very polite, and also very civilized. So lady, so he appeared to be no anger at all. She is full of a loving kindness, like that. So that's why she is famous for that nature. That's why one day, her servant, the slave, so she want to test. She want to put her mistress into the test. It means that whether my mistress is really, really good or she just pretend. Okay, she trying to test her mistress. Then, as a slave girl, so she need to wake up very early, get up very early in the morning, maybe 4 o'clock, 4 a.m. So, but on that day, she didn't get up, even though she wake up, but she purposely sleep. Maybe on that day, she get up maybe 5 o'clock in the morning, 5 a.m. Then where did he go? At that time, her mistress gets angry. Hey, why do you wake up very late? Don't you understand? You have a lot of duties to do. Then she said, mistress, pardon me, today I fall asleep. That's why, okay. Then tomorrow, if you don't do the same thing, otherwise I will punish you. So gets a little her mistress shows a little bit anger. not so much strong. Maybe on the next day, also again, the slave girl, she didn't wake up 4 o'clock in the morning, as well as she didn't wake up until 5 o'clock in the morning. Then her mistress gets more and more angry. Other day also didn't do anything, just say a little bit harsh words to her slave girl. But on the third day, she tried to sleep. So maybe wake up about the 7 o'clock. The other day, her mistress gets angry. Now that, and then she beat her with the sticks. It means that she break her head. Okay? So maybe bloodshed. Then other day, the slave girl, she cry out and they shout, oh, let's look at. People think Vedika mistress seem to be very polite, civilized, and no anger, full of loving kindness. But you see what she did to me. So in this way, the slave girl trying to make her mistress realize, reveal her own nature. So that story is giving. So in that Sutta, so here it is explained that to have an intrinsic nature of a Metta, it means that the Metta should be developed, should be obedient, not out of expectation to gain or requisites, but out of respect to the Dhamma. So some people, they try to behave very well. They try to be polite, because if they don't polite, if they pay to be polite, then they will not get anything. Maybe they will be fired. So they work hard. Why do they work hard? Because not out of the respect to the Dhamma, but they work hard out of gain, to get a favor from the boss or to get a favor from the master and so on. So here with this story, the Buddha explain that there are some people, they pretend to be polite. They pretend to be full of loving kindness, but in its reality, they are not such a polite person. They are not such a person of the loving kindness. So that's why the Buddha explained that for the monks also, you become a monk, you try to be obedient, you follow the rules, you practice like a monk, not out of expectation to gain four requisites. Okay, so some people they behave in front of the people like an arahant or whatever, with the expectation to gain more requisites. Okay, so that is not the way the Buddha encouraged the monks to be. So whether simile or the Vedahika, whether story or the Vedahika, the Buddha explained that every monk should follow, should be obedient, should develop loving kindness, not to gain any worldly things, but out of respect to the Dhamma, Dhamma Garawa. So we love Dhamma so much. That's why we are so obedient. Okay. So we love Dhamma so much. That's why we practice it so hard. We develop a love metta. We develop a meditation. So in this way, so that is the correct way for the Buddhist monks and nuns to develop a metta or to be obedient. So whether story or the Vedahika, the Buddha trying to explain Anuvefaguna and the other monks. So some people, they are not, they appear to be obedient to the words of the Buddha because they want to get a four requisites. Only when they are obedient to the Buddha's word, they will be supported by the lay people. That's why out of expectation to gain four requisites, so don't be obedient because of that. That is not the right attitude. Okay, not the right attitude. The right attitude is what? Out of respect to the Dhamma, we respect to the Dhamma. We understand that the Dhamma is a really truth. Dhamma can lead us to the Nibbana. So that beliefs so make us respect or revere to the Dhamma. Out of such a respect and reverence to the Dhamma, we have to be obedient to the words of the Buddha, and also we have to be obedient to the words of the elderly persons and senior monks and so on. And also we should practice loving kindness as well. So then after that, the Buddha explained to develop a metta not superficially, but to bear metta in mind, even in facing with unwanted conditions. So, so some people, they just say, aha, awero, ho, mi, ho, do, okay. Sabbe, sadda, awira, hondu, abhyapaja, hondu, aniga, hondu, like that. They recite. Yeah, recitation is good. By reciting also you can, your mind becomes so tender. So we can start from the reciting such a metta bhavana, but actually we have to also develop. So loving kindness should be developed in our mind. Okay, that's why to develop a metta not superficially, but to bear metta in mind, even in face of an unwanted condition. So the world is so many ups and downs in our lives. Okay, we can face many ups and downs in our life. So in whatever condition, we have to bear metta in mind. So even though we the conditions are not really desired condition, but we have to keep our mind with the full of metta. So here number simile. So in order to explain that point, the Buddha trying to give for number 4 simile, number 5, number 6, number 7 similes. Number 4 simile is the simile of the art. Okay, so if you develop a metta, behave like the art. So even though on the art, sometimes you may spit on the art, you may throw dust, maybe rubbish on the art. Sometimes you may pour water on the art, maybe sometimes you may decorate the art, but the art doesn't matter. So even though you destroy or you dig or sometimes you fire, you burn the art, but doesn't matter, it accepts. Okay, like the art, so it bears good and bad things or the people. So also in whatever condition, favorable or unfavorable condition, we have to develop loving kindness in our mind. So also the space, with the simile of the space, even though we try to paint the space, so cannot be. Okay, so also like the space and like the Ganga River, like the Ganga River. So even though you try to throw water or the Ganga River away, but you cannot do like that. So maybe you may be very tired, but the Ganga water in the Ganga River will continue to flow. So also, so in whatever condition, good or bad condition, we have to develop loving kindness. So and also casking. So casking, what is that? Casking, a sort of musical instrument made of the casking. Maybe in India, so there are many such drums. Okay, so on the drum, the skin of the drum. So if we are going to beat the drum, then the skin is made of the casking. So so with the simile of the casking also, the Buddha trying to explain. So to strengthen metta like the art, like the space, like the Ganga River, and like the clothes. So maybe never finish. So endless. We try to have a endless loving kindness. Okay. So not it is called that's why it is called abamanya. So measureless, no boundary. So if we really develop a loving kindness, there become a no boundary. There is a no limitation. There is a no discrimination at all. Whether he or she, or whether that person is our enemy or friend, or it doesn't matter, we behave the same. So in this way, because you see, Dosam Bahaya Mitta Bhavetava. The Buddha said in the Anguttara Nikaya that in order to abandon dosa, Mitta should be developed. Okay. So here, so if you study about the Phaguna is so dosa jarita. He easily gets angry. So whoever says something about him, bad about him or about the bhikkhunis, he can bear in mind. He become very much aggressive to those persons, to those monk or senior or junior, whatever. He easily gets angry. That's why the Buddha trying to reduce the anger, dosa or the phaguna by explaining about the metta, okay, the way to develop a metta. So with the here now you may see 1, 2, 3. and also one story of the Vedahika. Then after that, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 similes are there. After that, the Buddha explained the 5 causes of the wars. So most of the problems started from the wars. Okay, and also we can simply say start from the mouth. So because of speaking, we talk. Because of the from speaking, the many problems arise. Okay, nowadays, waging the wars, maybe and nationally, internationally, so from country to country, they fight one another, from one community to another. The starting point, the problem started from the wars. Okay, that's why we have to be able to withstand the attack of the wars, attack with the wars. So nowadays, with not only the wars, but also social media. Okay, social media like media, mainstream media as well. Social medias and mainstream media, through that medias, the wars, they trying to express their ideas and their way of thinking and so on. So even though there may be our intention, people's intention and desires are interpreted through the words, okay, by uttering the speech or by writing on the Facebook or social media or mainstream media and so on. But in brief, there we can say the Buddha explained that the five causes of the wars. So some of the wars are timely, some are untimely. So Kalina. So some of the wars people they say at the proper time. Some people they say the wars at the improper time. So that's why we can say whether people say the wars timely or untimely, don't get angry. Okay. Sometimes so while we were child, we have to find the proper time. When we want to get some permission from the masters and from the elderly person, we want to wait for the proper time. Whether the master is happy or not today, it's okay or not. So if he seemed to be not okay, we should not approach to him, and also we should not ask for any permission. But if we find that today master is found to be happy or in a very better condition, favorable condition, then we try to approach and get ask permission to do something or to go somewhere. We can easily get. Because if we don't know the time, mostly people get angry. Even though we may report some. We have a duty to report something to our senior persons. Other time also we have to wait for the time. So because people are so sensitive, human beings now mostly are so sensitive to the times. So when we approach to the untimely hours, then they get angry. So that's why the Buddha say here, timely and untimely. People they may not know the time, proper time or improper time. They may say such a was. So, but be patient. Don't get angry out of it. Because, and also don't be very happy because people come and report at the right time. And also don't get upset when they report at the wrong time. And also some of the words are truthful, some are falseful. Okay. So some are truthful, some are falseful. So we have to, whatever truthful words or falseful words, don't get angry, but rather develop a loving kindness. And also some are tender, some are harsh, some words. Some people, they are very clever to use a very soft and tender and polite words. Some people, even though they are good nature, but they are very much open-minded. That's why they use very harsh words. So whatever words you hear, either sweet words or maybe bitter words, doesn't matter. You have to, we have to bear loving kindness in our mind. Some are beneficial, some words are beneficial, helpful, some words are not beneficial. Rather, it is harmful. Whatever words we hear, we have to be patient. We should not respond. Okay, we should not respond, or we should not react in an aggressive manner. Whatever words we hear, okay, rather we have to respond in a peaceful manner. That is loving, with a loving kindness. And also some people, they say, they express their ideas with the metta. So out of compassion, out of loving kindness, for our own benefit, they come and tell, they come and remind, they come and report. So some people, they come and tell us just to destroy, okay, just to make us upset. So that they got, they come and report, they come and tell something about us with the dosa, okay, with the dosa, anger. So whatever. So in this way, we can find the 5 causes of the wars: timely, untimely, truthful and falseful, tender and harsh, and beneficial and harmful. And then some of the words are with the metta, with the dosa. Whatever words you hear, whatever words people say to you, we have to be what? We have to remain the same in the face of the whatever kind of words. We have to remain the same, means we have to be with the loving kindness all the time. Okay, so maybe some people say very pleasant words. Because of pleasant word, we should not be very much elated. Okay, so some people, they say some of the harsh words. Because of that, also we should not get angry. Okay, so rather we should remain the same with the loving kindness. We should accept whatever was we hear with the loving kindness. Otherwise, if we get angry, dosa atana janati. So dosa cannot differentiate whether it is beneficial or harmful. So whether it is a benefit or not, dosa cannot, angry mind cannot differentiate. Dosa atana janati. Dosa dhammana pasati. Dosa cannot see the dhamma. Okay. So whenever, whoever influenced by the dosa will be tortured. Okay. So that's why the Buddha explained out of great compassion to the Phaguna and the audience, Sangha audience, to remain the same. Maybe in the world, there are a lot of ups and downs in our life. So whatever words, whether sweet words or harsh words that we hear in our life, we have to remain the same with the loving kindness. We should not utter aggressive words to them. Then finally, the Buddha used a very, very ultimate simile. That is simile of the soul. The Buddha explained that not to get angry even if your parts of the bodies are cut off by the double-handed soul, double-handled soul. So So maybe saw is there. If the teeth of the saws are very rough and unbearable. Okay. So the Buddha explained that not only the force, not only you are encouraged to be patient or to behave with the loving kindness. So when you face others' worse, verbal actions or verbal attacks, even if you encounter with the physical attacks, so some people, they can cut your hands and your fingers and your nose and ears and your legs and so on. Even though they cut parts of your body, but don't get angry. Then the Buddha's word, and that the discourse is very noteworthy that noteworthy. Then the Buddha explained here. Tadrabi yo mano baduseya. If you get angry, even just angry, because of the cut, because of other people cut off your hands and fingers and all parts of the body, na me so dina sasana karo. It means that na me so dina sasana karo. You are not the follower of my teaching. Okay? Because of that, if you get angry, you are no longer follower of my teaching. How wonderful the Buddha's word is. Very, very seriously, the Buddha explained that. So even you should not get angry mind, and rather you should develop a loving kindness, and also not only do that person, do the persons around you. So in this way, the Buddha explained with the simile of the saw. Okay. So imanja rome begwe kakacupama awada abekana manasikariyata. So please remember, continuously remember the simile of the saw, the admonishment with the simile of the saw. Kakacupamang awada, the admonishment with the simile of the saw. So only then, so whatever we encounter in our life, whether it is big or small, undesirable things happen to us, at the time we will be able to withstand, we will be able to remain the same. So we will be able to be unshakable by the attack with the wars or attack with the physical body and so on, or weapons or whatever. So that is, in this way, the Buddha encourages disciples, Panuvapaguna and disciple monks, in order to develop loving kindness. Okay. So with the many similes, even though the Buddha used a lot of similes in this discourse, but we can say that it was not successful to the Phaguna. So Phaguna, even up to the end, in the end, there are Ida Mawaja Bhagawa, Adamana Deveku Bhagawa Doba Siddham Binandodi. Other months, they rejoice the Buddha's words. But the Phaguna didn't say anything to the words of the Buddha. It means he is a disobedient monk. He don't follow the Buddha's admonishment. But even though in this life he don't follow the Buddha's teaching, but later on, that will be a kind of a strong support for him to be liberated from the round of the suffering. So that is something about the Kakacupama Sutta. So with that, the Kakacupama Sutta, I think we can learn a lot. Maybe nowadays it may be very difficult to teach this discourse to the people. So whatever you encounter, whoever attack you by words or by deeds, don't be patient, don't get angry. Even when other people cut off your fingers and nose and parts of the body, don't get angry. So people may think it is not practical. But if we really love the Dhamma, if we really understand the teachings of the Buddha, then so we will be we will appreciate it so much on the teachings of the Buddha. Kakacupama, admonishment with the simile of the soul, simile of a soul. So with this, I will conclude for today's talk on the Kakacupama Sutta. Thank you so much for listening, and also thank you so much for your attention.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay.
Pande Sangarakita.
Bante, shall we take few questions? Or
Yeah. Pande Buddha Dada.
We are so fortunate enough, Bante, to listen a wonderful discourse from you, having explained in detail with the similes, with the background stories, with the commentaries. I don't think we need to give any further comments or summary of the sutta. Sayadaw has already explained in all in-depth and deep. It is up to us to reflect upon this Dhamma and practice it in so many ways, like in Ajaniya, it can be a reminder for us. We can take the example of the salad trees, as Bante also said. We have to make ourselves like a salad tree. Taking the example of Videhika, that mistress, even though she projects herself as a very kind and practice metta, but when the situation arises, she lost her control and she went the anger on the maid. And that's where the Kali, the Dasi, the servant Kali, he went on crying and made it declare to everybody in the neighborhood. That's what Sayadaw was explaining, that Dasi, as long as she was doing her work, she's fine. The moment she tested and she broke the rule and didn't get up in the morning, that's why the mistress became angry. And she hit the servant, the maid, very badly. So it is not in that example, that story, but in our own life, we see when situation is very good, everything is normal and we're happy, then we have metta. But at the adverse situations, when we have an unfavorable situation, unpleasant situation, somebody is not listening to us or not doing correct action, right action, that moment we have to actually practice metta with patience. With we should have the real and loving kindness in our mind. That's what Sayadaw was saying. In unwanted conditions, we need metta in our workplace, in the families, and in all the situations. And like earth or space, water, and the cat skin, that cat skin is bitten so much, and there is no questions of anything. That is why when it is fully flat and completely bitten, there is no questions of any reaction, So we make ourselves like that. With the words, as Sadhguruji also mentioned, with different kinds of words we hear. But sometimes that words, if you really don't practice metta and wise enough, then you may react. You may react to that and you become angry. So to practice the Buddha's teachings, this is enough for us to make our mind to be patient and to be kind enough to loving kind and to practice loving kindness, even though our body parts are cut off, limbs by limbs. Then also we should not hit back, should not resent or vent anger, revenge on somebody. We actually should practice metta at all times. Then only we can be the true disciples of Lord Buddha. So in taking this sutta as our practice, let us contemplate on this sutta as not be like Phaguna. We should not be like that monk who, even though the Buddha himself giving discourse and giving him instruction in front of him, but nothing happened to this Phaguna because of his attitude, because he's not ready to change himself and listening obediently. So therefore, he didn't achieve neither Magga Phala, not a good disciple, and has become a good monk at all. So I think Bhante has told more than enough. We should reflect everybody on these lines and try to emulate and practice as much as possible in our daily life. If we have any questions, maybe you can ask a few questions. From here in our audience or even in the online. One questions, okay. There's a question, sir, from one of our professors.
Vandami, Bhante, it was a wonderful and excellent Dhamma Desana, and slowly we have to understand all 8 similes. All are wonderful, having deep meaning, deep relevance. But only the anagami can overcome the anger. Arahant can eradicate all defilements. See, even if limbs are cut, okay, fingers are injured, for a lay people, ordinary man, it is not possible, even if he pretends. So only by achieving the sainthood of Sotapanna, Sakadagami, Anagami, one can overcome dosa. For ordinary people, it is not possible. And also to develop this Brahma Vihara, especially Apamanya, boundless love, okay, it calls for deep love, universal love. So, for ordinary man with a lot of defilements, okay, he has to develop over a period of time to come to this state of practicing Kakacupama Sutta. What is your take on this, Venerable Chandamukha Bhante?
Yes, you are right. That in the anagami level, dosa is totally eradicated. So, but it is still applicable, even though we did not attain yet to the anagami level. Okay, so because the Metta development of a Metta or Karuna, Mudita, Ubekha, these are the tools so that can be used in our daily life, and also so to make the society better and also more peaceful society. So these Metta Karuna Mudita Ubekha. So especially here Metta regarding this discourse. So is encouraged to develop. So in order to make so maybe happy family and also happy community, happy society, and also happy nation, peaceful nation, and also peaceful world. So if we fail to develop so loving kindness, maybe as in the ordinary level, so maybe from the as a Buddha Jana, Sodavana, Sagada, and Naga, and so on, then the world will be full of chaotic, full of violence, full of anger. So that's why even though to be able to patience, even though someone cut, so the finger, okay, the finger or limbs, limb by limb, so it's really difficult to bear and not to get angry. But there is one, I think you may remember one of the Jataka story or the Bodhisattva. Okay, Bodhisattva's Jataka story. So in one of her life, the Bodhisattva was one of his life. Bodhisattva, as a Bodhisattva is ordinary person, not an anagami, and also very young child. So very small child. He just, even he is not yet able to walk by himself. So because the queen loved the son so much, that's why she take care a lot. Even when the king entered the room, she didn't aware. So that's why the king gets angry because of that baby. So my wife, the queen, don't pay attention to me. That's why I get angry and cut. Okay, the limb, cut the Bodhisattva's limbs, limb by limb. So even in that condition, Bodhisattva didn't get angry. Okay, so that is the way that indicated that even so it is a very difficult, but it is not impossible. Okay, it is not impossible. It is impossible. It is possible to develop a loving metta even in that condition. Okay, so I think it is my understanding. So
Thank you, Bante. Pandami.
okay.
Okay, thank you very much, Bante, for your wonderful, kind answer to this question. I think, Professor, you are not clear about it, right? Clear. Yeah, it's clear. Yes, that's how it is. So, any other questions from any participant?
My question, Namami Bhante ji, my question is the same in my workplace. Sometimes other people don't behave, मेरे साथ अच्छा व्यवहार नहीं करते, मेरे ऑफिसर्स मेरे को रेस्पेक्ट मतलब बहुत ज्यादा ऐसे काम कराते हैं जिससे मुझे तकलीफ होती है, और वो गलत व्यवहार भी करते हैं, बट मैं उस समय रिएक्ट नहीं करती, पर मन ही मन मेरे को गुस्सा आता है, मैं दुखी होती हूँ, और फिर जैसे ही मुझे भगवान बुद्ध की शिक्षा याद आती है तो मैं मित्ता करती हूँ, तो मैं गुस्सा भी करती हूँ और उसको रिमूव भी करती हूँ, तो मेरी एनर्जी बहुत सारी उसमें लग जाती है, तो मुझे क्या करना चाहिए?
So I will translate for you.
Yeah, thank you.
Madam Sunita says that in her workplace, she also faced this kind of situations. Her senior officers sometimes don't behave, bossism, not behave correctly, or they're trying to show their superiority on her. But still she says that I remember Buddha's teachings. and to remove that the anger. But still, I see practice metta, right? But your question is you could not able to overcome them completely. Is that right? She gets angry also at the same time remembers the Buddha. I see. She gets angry at the same time she remembers the Buddha. Oh, how to overcome that situation? Yeah.
So thank you, Sunita. So that is also not only you, everybody encounter in life. So that's a common problem. Because because we are Buddha-janas, worldly beings. So that's why we share the same problems. So yeah, it is good to remember the Buddha. So the Buddha and Bodhisattva, even he was, his life was threatened, but he uh, um, developed a metta. He responds or react with the loving kindness. So the Buddha stand in your mind as a role model. That is so encouraging. That is so encouraging. So that is, yeah, in the party for that moment, you may not be totally recover from the dosa, okay, but you can replace the dosa with the Buddha. Okay? Buddha is so peaceful, right? So role model, and then on that case, you try to replace dosa with the Buddha. So that is very great. So try to do more. I encourage you to remember more the Buddha. Okay, so then, so the Buddha, when the Buddha image or the Buddha's face appear in your mind, so peaceful. So then you remember that not only me, even the Buddha encounter such an attack and such a discrimination. As a Buddha, he bear with the unshakable mind. That is loving kindness. So peaceful, so do I. So in my case also, I follow the Buddha's footsteps. So that way will be very encouraging for you to face such a problem. Gradually, that will be grow, that will prosperous, okay, more and more. Then later, everything will be okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Any question?
Thank you, Bante. Yeah. Any question? I think no more question, Bante.
No more questions.
Yes, Bante. So Bante, maybe Bante can give us blessings and share the merits with everybody.
So, Bhavadu Sava Mangala Rakandu Sava Devada Sava Buddha Nubhave Na Sava Dhamma Nubhave Na Samba Sangha Nubhave Na Sada Sukhi Bhavantu Te Idame Punyang Asavakayang Wahang Hodu Idano Punya Bhagang Savasadanang Samandema Vajema Sabi Sada Samambadilavedawa Sukhida Hota Dukha Monjata
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. You want to say a few words, vote of thanks, and I conclude. Okay. I request Professor Ramchandra, Dr. Ramchandra, who is the coordinator for the PhD studies here. I request him to propose the vote of thanks.
Nami Bante, it is night with the example of householder Pagguna. Buddha says, if anyone were to reproach you right to your face, then you should abandon those urges and thoughts which are worldly. Pagguna, you should train yourself thus. Neither shall my mind be affected by this, nor shall I give vent to evil words, but I shall remain full of concerns and pity with a mind of love, and I shall not give in to hatred. This is how, Pagguna, you should train yourself. And further, Buddha says, project, even if bandits were to savagely sever your limbs by limp with a double-handed saw, even then whoever of you harbors ill will at art would not be upholding my teaching. That means pay respect to the Dhamma. Projecting thoughts of universal love that have grown great and exalted, we shall develop radiating these thoughts which are void of hostility and ill will. It is in these monks that you should train yourself with a metta. So that is why it is you have Mante, you have given very good similes, all 8 similes given in the Kakacupama Sutta, and also well-being of mental well-being and also physical health, eating only once in a day. All these eight similes are highly relevant in 21st century. Today the society is under turmoil. Okay, it is going into darks because of this globalization, this, that, etc. It is the need of the hour that Kakacupama Sutta, paying respect to the Dhamma, is to develop metta in spite of all antagonism, okay, adverse situations, adverse words, adverse conditions, etc. Develop metta and give metta to all the people. Slowly, gradually, we have to develop loving kindness. Bear, right? We have the ability to bear metta. Okay, that is very important. And don't react and don't develop hostility. Develop peace, compassion, and the harmony in the society, in the family, among the interpersonal relations, etc. That is a good talk now. And we received a lot of knowledge from you through Buddha. And thank you very much for your wonderful discourse. Okay, today. Okay, thank you, Bante, immensely. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, Bante. So here we conclude on behalf of everybody, on behalf of Mahavadi Society Bangalore, Mahavadi Research Center, and all our students and monks. We are immensely grateful to you, thankful to you for coming all the way from online and joining us, sharing this Dhamma, precious Dhamma with us. Please keep coming and keep guiding us in the path of Dhamma, and stay in contact with Mahabodhi. And in future also, you would have to visit here personally. Whenever you want to take any classes and online or anything, you can welcome Bante. And we'll be so happy to have your blessings always, Bante. Thank you, Bante. Namo Buddha to you.
See you. Take care.
Sadhu, 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 Bante. You too take care, Bante. See you next time, Bante.
Yeah.